a lot of what was I learned today, and there's a lot of concern, in particular from the Bajan public, because the prime minister on the eve, only on this 30th of September, she actually addressed the nation on this. There's a lot of concern, for example, as to whether Dominicans will now flood Barbados.
Wow.
And there was concern. One of the callers, whilst I was on, says, well, a lot of our university students that graduate UWI cannot get jobs. And there is a concern now that people from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Belize and Dominica could come into Barbados and now be competing for the very little jobs that we have.
Right.
And then there was a discussion about, well, I said, well, they probably will not be coming to Dominica because our minimum wage is $7.50.
Yeah, that's one of that. Well, that would be one of the impeding reasons. Yeah.
And they were like, wow, the guy from St. Vincent said, well, this is extremely low, $7.50. So he said, well, maybe we will not get a lot of people coming to Dominica for jobs. And they were asking about our health system, our education system. I said, well, we have a fairly good education system in Dominica, and people, so we might want to enroll the students there. But the Bajans in particular are concerned, and one of the main concerns is that in addition to this free movement, at the same time, the government has proposed legislation that will make it a lot easier for CARICOM nationals in particular and Commonwealth nationals to get citizenship in Barbados. Now, the way it is in Barbados currently is that you must, unlike Dominica, you must be a citizen to vote.
Right.
Dominica allows Commonwealth citizens. So they want to have, and Commonwealth citizens have to be there for 3 years.
3 years, right.
Now they're changing that. You have to be there for 9 months within a 2-year period. As a Commonwealth citizen, you can get a Barbadian passport. And if you're a citizen of CARICOM, if you are in Barbados 6 months within a 2-year period, you can qualify for a Barbadian passport. So there's a lot of concern about that. The main theme out of Barbados is that this has nothing to do with free movement, but everything to do with the Prime Minister Mia Mottley trying to get people to come into Barbados to help show up a win for her. And my concern for Dominica was whether we can expect any kind of changes in our legislation to make it easier for those who may be coming into Dominica to get access to vote and so on. So that is a major, major concern that we have, and it's something that I would like the government of Dominica to address.
Yes, but and also while you're speaking of this, it is important, and it seemed and appeared to be a very pertinent issue. And what I believe, though, is that we have not heard of consultations, nor have we heard of referendums with respect to that, and to give the populace or the citizenry a chance to have consensus on this, because I think there should be dialogue between government, and the people of Dominica or the nation themselves, and not just be about Dominica. It's just about in the region, because regions have concern. It can well be too, the Vincentians have concern, the Belizeans have concerns. And so I don't think it is fair on the citizens that our government can just impose such a situation on them, not have them understood everything that's supposed to, and the ramifications, the implications, what is there for them, what can and cannot be done. And so, Doc, I believe the situation, while it's true that we are calling our government to speak on it, and they should speak on it, but we are advising that in any case, it should not be just about, I'm going to do this, use the big yardstick. I think it should be influenced by people's input with respect to, yes, we agree.
Yes, exactly. And also, I mean, the Dominicans agree to this. How, do we know how we will be impacted?
That's correct.
And my other concern that I had was why it is just these 4 countries out of the entire CARICOM group of CARICOM countries. It's clear that some CARICOM countries have reservations about it. That's why they have not joined on.
Yeah.
And those 4 countries, and it's interesting, at least the 4 countries in CARICOM that have had issues in terms of pressure, because regardless of what we see going on with Mia Mottley, there's a lot of pressure on her now within Barbados. And we know St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they're hanging on by a thread.
Yes.
They won by one seat.
Yeah.
Dominica has its own issues with a government in office for 25 years. Belize just had an election that many people thought was rigged. So one wonders whether that is just birds of a feather literally flocking together, and working to enhance or to maintain the term in office, because you must be suspicious of this. While I said it's a good idea, and that was originally envisaged in the Treaty of Chaguaramas with the signing of the CARICOM, but some countries have reservations.
Yes.
And you wonder whether our countries are sufficiently prepared. Are we prepared, for example, for an influx of persons from Belize and St. Vincent and Grenadines and Barbados into Dominica?
Yes.
Is Barbados ready for an influx of Dominicans into the country? And especially
Right.
if our passport, if we have issues with the CBI, if that continues and our passport gets devalued, then it means having a Bajan passport becomes extremely desirable, because that's one of the best passports in the world. You know, you can walk into many, many countries. You have very little problems to get a visa and so on. So those issues, I don't think that enough attention was paid to all of those issues.
Yes.
And that is a bit concerning to me. So while I like the idea of this integration thing and the freedom of movement and so on,
Yes.
but this rush by 4 countries out of CARICOM, this almost blackout on information to the public. I'm sure there are people hearing for the very first time tonight
Yes.
that
Yes.
they're even knowing that it went into effect yesterday.
Wow.
You know, it took effect yesterday,
Yeah.
October 1st.
Wow. Interesting. And as the situation unfolds, we will actually, apprise the population as to what has been transpiring or what has transpired through all this. And it was, I hope the whole idea of deceptive governance is not actually widespread in the Caribbean, because if this is the case and it just sprung out of, out of control there, it seems to me there are a lot of things. But Doc, I wanted you to update us on the matter of the court matter with respect to this CBI matter, right? And where we are with this, the public has a big interest in this, and I know they are waiting to hear what is happening. So you can just for the moment,
absolutely, and you talk about the interest. Let me actually start by saying a big thank you, to the people of Dominica, to persons who put their hands in their pockets and really help us, because we decided as a party to actually go after this government and to hold them to account, which is something, in the past we've talked a lot about the missing millions. We've discussed at length about the fact that the CBI seems not to be bringing the rewards to Dominica. So we decided to take it a step further and actually bring a lawsuit against this government. And for us to do that successfully, we thought it was very important to have somebody, one of the best constitutional lawyers in the Caribbean, and that came with a hefty price tag.
Of course.
And we actually went to the public, and we were very successful in getting support from the public. So I really want to express my sincere thanks to all those who have contributed. Before this is over, we may have to come back for some more support. But we believe that this is extremely important, because for the first time, the government of Dominica will have to be accountable to the Dominican public. And we are doing this through the court system. That's the third branch of government, our judiciary. And we have gone to the courts and said, listen, the Constitution of Dominica is very clear that all resources that are raised by the government of Dominica must come through the consolidated fund. In other words, it must be handled for our government treasury.
That's right.
We know for a fact that a large amount of money, especially monies coming in for the Citizenship by Investment Program under the part that deals with the real estate option, we are aware that literally hundreds of millions of dollars are going through, not for the treasury, but in the hands of MMC Corporation. And MMC turns around and then pretends to fund projects in Dominica. So they've provided money for housing. They provided money, I believe, for one of the schools, and they've now provided the funding for the airport. So we have asked the court to do 2 things specifically. There are orders, but 2 of the major things. 1, to force the government of Dominica to obey its own constitution by ensuring that every single dollar comes through, so that we want a court order to that effect.
That's correct.
That will direct the government of Dominica to obey the constitution and the financial regulations of this country, which is very clear that every single cent raised by the government on behalf of the people of Dominica must go through the consolidated fund. That is one. The second that we are asking the court to do is to make available to the people of Dominica every single contract between the government of Dominica and MMC. Now, an interesting thing happened in court yesterday when we went into court, because the first time it came for hearing, the government of Dominica attempted to squash it.
Yes.
All right. So they basically put in, I believe there were four grounds that they put forward that they believed that the government of Dominica should actually squash. Now, on those four grounds, and I want to do that background because some people may have missed it.
Yes.
Take
your time.
The very first ground that they said why this case should be dismissed is that the judge hearing the case she was not competent. In other words, she had no jurisdiction to hear the case. So that was one. The second one that they said was that the person who brought the lawsuit was a nobody. And who was he to challenge the government of Dominica?
Right.
Because the way these things work, although it's United Workers Party that is doing it, but it is done in the name of an individual. And we must big up Bernie Ryan, who happens to be
good night to you.
Who happens to be the chairperson of our constituency association in St. Joseph.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, and then there were 3 others, but it had to do with discretion. Okay, so what the judge did when we met the first time, she ruled on those two issues: her competence to hear the case and whether or not Bernie Ryan could bring a lawsuit against the government of Dominica. And that is where we saw the brilliance of our lawyer, because he was able to very clearly defend that and point and said, well, yes, and showed clearly in the law where that was it. So at the end of the day, the judge ruled clearly that she dismissed this the idea of throwing out the case. And then when she ruled, and she showed very clearly in the Constitution where she has that right to hear this case. And then she made a very important point that this case is of national importance because it involves the resources of the state. And because these resources are gained on the behalf of the people of the state, they have a right to know. And so that even in the case of Bernie Ryan, and all I said, but look, he is a member of the United Workers Party. He's the chairperson of the St. Joseph Constituency Association. And he's concerned about the fact that the monies are not coming through the consolidated fund. So the judge, again, rubbished that argument that was brought forward by the government side and said that he was, as an individual, given that he's a chairperson, but even if he was not a chairperson,
he's a Dominican.
But as a Dominican, as an individual, he has a right to challenge his government and to bring this lawsuit forward. So she said, okay, well, we're going to move forward with the lawsuit, and the date was set for the 30th of September. So we come back to court on the 30th of September, and the government of Dominica, through their lawyers, are saying, well, wait a minute, Judge, you still have to rule on the squashing of the case because we were supposed to discuss disclosure. Okay, so our lawyer has put forward what he believes the government of Dominica must present, including the contracts for MMC, including the different monies that have been raised and who has where the money has gone to, who has gotten what, for what purpose, and all of these has been spelled out and he wanted those to be disclosed before the real hearing goes before the court. But then the government lawyers now brought up this particular issue of the same squashing of the case on those 3 other points, which has to do with discretion. So at which point, our lawyers brought in the issue of urgency. It is clear that what this government is trying to do is to delay this thing as long as possible.
Yes.
Delay. And that is the idea that we should be spending time, listen, already when you've already ruled that the case should go forward, that it is clear what their tactic is. They do not want this to come to light. But the people of Dominica has a right to know. And he said it's even more important in the context of a country where you do not have a formal opposition. He said the onus is even not more strongly on the government to be accountable to the people of Dominica. And he believes that this thing should be heard. So there was some back and forth. But at the end of it, the judge herself was saying, well, we really need to move this thing ahead because we need to get to the substantive case. So our lawyer, being the brilliant lawyer that he is, says, well, okay, I am prepared to withdraw my request at this time for disclosure if the government of Dominica will agree that they will provide everything that is asked for, and then when we meet for the substantive case, we can also hear the motion to dismiss. They agreed on this, and that's how we were able to move forward. And that's where the judge said, okay, well, everything that had been requested by our lawyers for disclosure, this must be made available by the 30th of by the 20th of December. That there should be no new pleadings. In other words, they cannot resurrect any new arguments around squashing outside of what is already there, nothing new. And so she's keeping a very tight lead on this case, and we are very happy about that. And then the expectation now is when we come on the 26th of January that we'll start the substantive hearing of this case, in which case both sides, our claimant obviously our lawyer will go ahead with arguments as to why he believes government of Dominica has to account for these millions of dollars through the passport program, and why the contract, what the contract says, and so on. And we'll move forward.
So what we understand is whether or not a declaration was made based on the time they give them, there will still be a hearing on the matter.
Yes. Yeah. So, but they have to obey it. They have to respect the court's ruling, because it's a ruling from the judge that you must put in that by December.
By December, yeah.
So they have no escape there. They cannot be in contempt of court. So we expect that they will go ahead.
Well, Doug, let me just thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the explanation. And I think we're on top of things. And let me tell you, this matter, as we said, and we have to be fair with it, that this matter has been an ongoing matter, even previously in the parliament. And by the way, we should not have been even in that position, taking the government to court to make a declaration. Because at the time, the United Workers' Party had members in the House, and Mr. Honorable Lennox Hinton, who at the time was the opposition leader, did make requests for the government to at least make declaration. And so it was an ongoing begging. And you see, the parliament is the highest court of the land, and the opposition has been making a plea for the government to make declaration. And they failed to do so. At one time, maybe at a rally, Mr. Skerritt was taking it for a joke. He said, well, look, when he will make everything available, he will embarrass the opposition leader at the time, who was Mr. Linton. He has since not been able to do so. And yeah, what is it? If you are so confident that you are doing good, that you are managing Dominica's resources with respect to the CBI in an accountable and transparent manner, why is there a push to squash the matter? But Dominicans will see through that as, something they want to hide. But we are taking calls. Right now, I think it's a nice time to invite the public before we come on Mr. Davis George. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. You can interact with us a little bit if you have any suggestions, questions, or anything that you want to say, because we're going right into it. And Dave, you've heard some of what you've heard there within Caribbean integration and what is happening, and even okay, here's a call. Hello, good evening, caller. Good evening to you.
Yes. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am hearing of a regulatory commission for the OECS for the CBI fund. What kind of light can you shine on that, and how do you believe that will affect accountability of the CBI funds in Dominica? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. In fact, I was involved in some consultations on that with the different players. The idea of this regulatory commission that is being spearheaded by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank it is in response to what has transpired with regards to the CBI, the increased pressure from the United States.
That's right.
For transparency and accountability. So the feeling was that if you have a regulatory commission that can govern the behavior of these governments, that will help take away some of the pressure. All right. So that regulatory commission is been set up. Personally, when I gave my views on it to the ECCB, I felt that was too little, too late, in the sense that the governments, especially our government and St. Lucia, they have done so poorly with respect to transparency and the abuse of this program that having a regulatory commission now is way too late after the fact, and I just don't see it working. But they're moving ahead with it. And they're still hoping that will be one of the ways that they can get out of any kind of punitive or any kind of pressure from the government of the United States.
Yes, caller, you are on. Good evening. Caller,
go ahead, please. Your line is open.
Your line is open. Go ahead. Okay, it doesn't seem that this caller is ready. So yes, Dave, I think, yeah, you were saying something, and I will allow you to make your point before anybody else comes.
Yes, I mean, it's very interesting to hear about that CBI matter, and all I will say on this at this time is really asking a question to our people.
Yeah,
is that the kind of government that you want to represent you?
Right?
And I mean, that is all I will say on that. Because you can see clearly there is no transparency. Clearly there is no form of transparency, no form of accountability.
That's true.
You understand? So I am just putting that out there, that question of letting all people know, is that the kind of government that you want to represent you? I can guarantee you, we, United Workers Party, we won't stand for that. Okay? In terms of the free movement, I am very happy about it. Very, very happy, but I like everything else, I have my concerns. I heard what Dr. Fountain said. I read some couple things about it, and those concerns are real. In terms of our health system, can we accommodate people on those within our system? And so that is what I would say again on this.
Yes, yeah, we have a caller. Caller, good evening to you.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Hunter.
Good evening, sir.
I have two questions.
Yes.
I know we are trying to raise funds and trying to get our cheaper our vehicle rapper.
Oh yes.
Are we going wrong? I know you all have a team of you by people saying. Are we putting it out there in our district? I know in Caribbean one time that Austria had one or two books and so on. Some years ago I had a book. I want to know. But I mean, we met Austria and I bought a book in Austria like last time. And so on and so on.
Yes, let me assure you. We are doing that. The plan is to go out, especially that's the last few weeks that we have.
Yeah.
So we are going to be moving out of Roseau as well, and ensuring that we
community stops.
We allow people in the community to do this.
Listen to me. I thought this would have been out already long before. So.
Yes, well, Pat, you see, one of the main problems we have is the vehicle, not being able to move the vehicle out. So that has been an issue. But let me just assure you that we'll definitely be doing that. But we have so many callers. Every line is lighting up, gentlemen, and we have just a few minutes, and we still have to hear from Dave, of course. So Can we go on to the next caller? Good evening.
Caller, good evening to you.
Okay, we seem to have lost this caller. Yeah.
But now it is time to take we are going to take a twist with respect to with all of the issues. Okay, caller, good evening to you.
Yeah, it just occurred to me, gentlemen, that recently I saw this clip of Roosevelt Garrett. I think it was in relation to his press conference, where he's referring to people as idiots. You saw that clip, gentlemen? You think that it's fair for a prime minister to refer to people as idiots who are inquiring citizens, who are participating, who are concerned about a loan that he might be taking, and the process of it being, as he used the phrase, let down or whatever, the way the money comes down into his hands? You think it's justified for him to refer to them as idiots? I mean, I just find that a little bit much.
Yeah, exactly. When you think, he really must think that we're idiots to believe that it takes 5 years for you to get money when you sign and say the money is coming.
That's correct. Yeah.
And of course, when there was opposition to the concern of the spending or the money of the CBI going into the treasury, he also referred to the opposition members as bastards. And I found that kind of hard coming from him, because we know his history. I don't want to get into it, but we know his history. For him to be referring to others as bastards is a gross insult, because if we start to look into his history, well, what are we going to find, gentlemen? Thank you.
Yes,
and I mean, that money issue, and people are asking the question because Roseau is deteriorating on a daily basis.
Of course,
the city of Dominique of the country is crumbling under the weight of and stench and garbage and rats and so on. So what do you want? You want people to just and twice you've claimed to have gotten money to have a state-of-the-art city, and the city continues to crumble. I was standing right there and I saw this kind of huge rat just tonight. It's disgusting.
Yes. Good evening, caller.
Caller, go ahead, please.
Go ahead. Okay, we have a problem. Okay, we seem to have lost. Okay, so now, Doc, we are going to the second segment of our program. So we will take a halt on all the calls, and we go in. Well, it's supposed to be interactive, but we have our guest there this evening, and it's only fair to have him see what he has to say. So, Dave, I know over the years, since after the elections, 2019 elections, we have not contested 2022.
Right.
And you have been, the caretaker of this area and continues to, engage with the people of Calibishie. What is your take on what you've been seeing, what you've been hearing? Tell us.
Yes, well, things are happening. Some things are happening, and it's long. It takes a while, but it did happen. I have my concern the way it's happening. So, for example, in terms of agriculture and the things that the pest. You for example, the giant African snail, down in our area, and that is a serious concern for me, within the area. And I find the Ministry of Agriculture, I'm hearing they're doing some little things, but at the rate these things is multiplying, right? You wonder if you need a plane maybe just now to help to deal with those kind of things, because for example, I'm going to tell you, when these things go down in the valleys and start to multiply, right, what's going to happen? You cannot spread bait, around your house or around your property and expect that to kill the amount of those things that is there. You understand? So you need some other kind of help,
right,
to spread baits all around the place, all around the island very soon, so that you can take care of those things.
So you're telling us, because the last time you were here,
right,
you spoke of the giant African snail,
right,
which has been posing a threat or an economic threat to the crops,
right,
or the farmers' agriculture,
right.
And I know the ministry is aware of this,
right.
And you are telling us right now as we speak, they may not seem to have what they call a response plan.
That's correct.
To at least curb the problem.
To help to
because farmers are still suffering.
Because our farmers are suffering in the Benz area right now. It is in Calibishie. You understand? And God forbid that go up to the heights.
Right.
Man, we have problems.
Yeah.
You understand? Because that is the agricultural base. All right. There is another project that is happening within Calibishie, the water project, and I must say I'm happy for it. I am very happy because right now the Wasco is doing this electrical pump, And there are some areas in Calibishi that did not have water, wasn't getting water from the old pump.
Right.
And they're doing an electrical pump now. So you have this thing going up all the way up to Calibishi. There's some little.
So they are sourcing that water.
Well, they're sourcing that water all the way up in at the Hodges River, all the way up, right? And I know about it because it is very close to our property. Right. So, but there are certain things that is going on within the project that I don't like, because, you know, if Dawasco have a project, Dawasco is in charge of a project.
Yes.
But then you have people, subcontractors, firing people, do not want people to be on certain projects, do not want people equipment. And you know, those little things, it kind of hinder the kind of progress that's supposed to happen. And in the next, 3 months, 4 months, this project's supposed to end. I heard the PALREP said it is 40% or 60% complete. Something like that she said the other day, and
you're not quite believing that.
I mean, I spoke to somebody from Dawasco, and they told me that well, maybe the PALREP know better.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. In terms of agriculture, again, you have the minister was saying the other day that he is expecting to have certain amount of monies into by whatever time. In 2030, we're supposed to have X amount of monies, or however he said it. You know, by you don't remember so he said about something to do by 2030 we were expecting to have some kind of income from agriculture.
Oh, the GDP, the contribution,
something, right.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
Stock.
And I see something, and you know, it really had me confused. You know, the distribution of fertilizer,
right?
Passing in the night and choosing who to give fertilizer, who you giving fertilizer. Now, when you hear about fertilizer, one bag of fertilizer to a farmer, one bag over there. I mean, come on, how can you grow agriculture like that?
Yeah.
How? And these things are some of my concerns.
But Dave, I'm sure you have bigger other concerns different to that. Yeah, because I've spent some time just as recently as 2 weekends ago, and what struck me was firstly the number of young people that we encountered. And secondly, the fact that we saw the school building and has literally taken. I'm coming
to it. Yes, because I'm coming to it. Time, and I also want you to take into consideration, because I've worked in the Calibishi area.
Right.
I've worked in the Benz area. Right. In agriculture time, and I'm very familiar with these areas, and I know what they used to produce before.
Right.
And knowing especially Calibishi used to be a vibrant community, notwithstanding, and I don't really know what you know better than me, but let's put in it. I know some of the primary agricultural lands who sold out to foreigners, and most of these lands going up on the ridge.
On the ridge of it.
And I know for sure that had a little bit of implication for agriculture, in that once the people bought the land, what they do, they establish heavy residence there, and now it is not going to be easily affordable to the locals.
Right.
So what has happened is that agricultural lands now have been transformed into residential land, and so. But we know the thing. But Calibishi used to be a real vibe. When you're passing Calibishi, you used to smell food. You see your music. You see your things happening. What is happening in these communities, particularly Calibishi?
Well, I mean, and as I'm going through it,
yes,
the one of the things is job creation for the young people.
Yeah.
You understand? It's disheartening when you come to this area, what you're seeing is happening to the young men down there. Because, for example, as Doc spoke about the school, right? Our only playing field, only playing field in the community, you build a school. When there was enough space, you could change the design of the school and have that school on the site, maybe the same area, and still have your playing field.
Wow.
You understand? Right now they build the school, and I don't know how they're going to get a playing field. I really don't know. Now you have the guys going other places now to practice in Benz, and some of them go to Woodford Hill or to do liquor practice, right? And who's building the school? Chinese, right? 4 or 5 young men doing security guard down there, and that's it. Chinese are literally building the school down there. You know,
And you know that down there you have skilled men, you have contractors.
but of
who can do
course,
this.
of course, there are people within this area that have the skills that can build the school. You understand? But again, we see this government, what they're accustomed of doing is just put things down people's throats.
So the general
everybody-
mindset of the people, notwithstanding you all have had what they call you had petitions going out so that they could at least redesign the school or put the school at the back so that you could have this. What is the mindset of the people?
Well, right now, everybody's kind of quiet now. Everybody's silent. Nobody, you hear little grumbling here and there, but everybody's basically
Silent.
yeah, they're not saying much because they realize right now what has happened.
Right.
You know, but it's too late now. This the school is on the building is on the playing field, and it's right now.
So much small business. I mean,
You
small
know?
businesses. What is the present or current situation with small businesses in your constituency?
Well, you know, small business, like every other small business in Dominica, have the challenges.
Right.
You understand? And people are trying to see how they can keep their head afloat. We have, you know, a couple of restaurants around in Calibishi. We also have a chocolate factory, right? And that is, you know, with the injection of some more funds, we could see this chocolate factory employ much more people, you know, and have things booming even more. More people would have been employed within this little catchment there, you know. But you're not seeing that happening. I mean, people are struggling.
Yeah,
you know?
Because I also glad you mentioned about the chocolate factory, because what I was thinking is I don't know if there are persons or farmers targeted particularly so that they could provide the raw material like the cocoa for them, because I know the chocolate is made out of cocoa and they have different mix. And so are you aware that may be happening, or is that?
Yeah, there are some farmers within the catchment area, you know, that do sell for them, and I think 2 of them I know. That sell for them within that area.
Right.
You know, but maybe if they had much more farmers doing that, then maybe the factory would have been, again, with the injection of more funds,
Right.
you know, that could have served even better. Because cocoa is a big thing.
Right.
Cocoa right now is the price for it now is big. You know, it's way up there.
I know some time ago you made an assessment of the feeder roads you've gone all about, because notwithstanding you have been going in and out of the feeder roads. What can you tell us about the state of feeder roads now with respect to helping the farmers to access their farms?
In my constituency, man, feeder roads is like, you know, almost like everywhere else again. You know, it's problems for farmers to get to the farms. You know, like everywhere else. I'm hoping that with the introduction of that new water system that is being organized, that up in the Calibishi area, then the government would see fit to do that road to go up.
Okay.
You understand? To pave that road to go all the way up in the heights there.
Right.
You know, and that would be good for the farmers. I remember back in the days, tourists used to make the round. We used to have that horseshoe from Savant Pie area and come all the way around to down on the reach back on the flat. You know, we used to have our St. Peter's down there, and we used to divert traffic. You understand? So that traffic could go around and it was really airy, you know. So, but right now, man, the road is terrible up there. The road is terrible.
Yes. So, Dave, we're going to take a pause here and we're going to take a call. Hello, caller. Good evening to you.
Yes, I'm here again.
Yes.
The concept of agriculture has changed. 20-something years ago, when the workers were there, they had a plan for the young farmers, to train young farmers. 20 years from that time, farmers have been motivated and they are quite old. And some people tend to believe the government believes that it's about famine the old farmers, they have a strength again, they didn't motivate them, and so on. So that situation has changed gradually. They have to begin to look at younger farmers, begin to do a good thing. You can't have young people around the place, and you're talking about farmers, and some of those farmers are already tired, they're looking to see their kids and so on. So you should be able to organize our young people, give an opportunity to be able to go to get their own tools and get their own leaders or activities, their things to rotate the soil and so on. Get machines, get equipment, right? Give them their computer and so on and to organize themselves. These are farmers and just their farmers and your concept in your mind is saying, old man, to do this thing. It's not the strength of it. Okay?
Yes.
And that is of development. They must begin to look at the younger people and train them, and you can become and begin to look at it, get irrigation, get whatever it is for them. Okay? That's what I think of.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, your perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, Mr. Joseph is right. You know.
All right, hold that thought.
Yes, caller. Good evening to you. Someone holding up the line. Hello. Yeah, this line either we have a technical issue here or something. But as we just said, and people interacting, and I think we are hearing probably that NEP workers are asked to take in their passport form to the immigration office without any money. And if they have expired passports to also bring it along. What is going on in Dominica? Is that what is going on? Is there a project? I've never heard of an announcement. What is going on? Boy, see this country? But anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's something Dave, we'll discuss, yeah.
Yeah, but Dave, yeah, serious. And I'm happy that you just got support there from someone who is in the area and with agriculture. And what I do know is that I usually go down to the port on a Monday, and I would see a lot of Calabishi farmers before bringing produce to the port. It seems to me all of these activities are now disappearing or dwindling. What is really going on?
Well, you heard Mr. Hunter in terms of the encouragement to the young people down there. You understand? We have land. There is a land down in Calabishi, and we need to see our young people into agriculture, because agriculture, that is the way to go.
Yes,
you understand? That is the way. I mean, I am just back from the States, right? And I could not believe when I saw basilic, Doc. Basilic well packaged.
Right.
Well packaged, $6 in a little thing. You understand? Your little ginger, turmeric in a little thing. You just come, you just pick up your thing, you go and scan your thing. You understand? And I'm saying, boy, wow, look at how we have our fruits just wasting. You understand? Look at I'm a farmer too, I'm just doing my planting, organizing my garden. And I had so much avocados and plantain. Oh no, I have plantain just there.
Yes, I remember I purchased even some
some
chanias from you. And big plantains.
Big plantains, and they're just there. Yeah. Big plantains just there. You understand what I'm saying? And I just do get it. I don't know. But then the Bible is always right,
Yes.
Because a nation perish when they haven't got good leaders. Yeah, is that correct, Doc? When you don't have good leaders, a nation perish.
Something like that.
Something like that. We see it like.
But you can see it. But you can see
it's a reality.
Yeah,
right.
You can see it because our nation our leaders that is governing right now do not have vision. So they know what they want, but they just want people to remain poor so that they can always come to them. You understand? But we, the United Workers' Party, on the other hand, we want to make you independent. You understand? That's how we want people to be independent, so that people can go to the shop, they can go and do whatever they want, they can travel, they can do what they have to do.
Yeah.
You understand? You don't have to go to somebody every time for that. Look at sports. Look at sports. I mean, Pebush is a known area for sports. Basketball. United Workers' Party started did a building, a resource center for them. And that is where it is since United Workers' Party left office. The guys, people have been playing softball cricket on the basketball court.
Yes.
Dog play cricket there too.
Yes. I got
And then
bold.
practice
I
up
got
there.
bold.
Bowling. You understand? When they have a playing field, they had a playing field that the United Workers Party had started to organize for them in a little area called Wire. You understand?
Wow.
And nothing. The playing field is just there. You understand? That's where the bush people used to go and play their little rounders, the young ladies used to go and play their rounders and stuff like that. All right?
And 25 years of Labour Party rule, and they've not improved on it.
you
They've not
understand?
changed it.
Nothing.
At least they could do a little covering
A little
for
covering
the
basketball.
basketball.
The basketball.
Mm.
Nothing at all. And people just sit there and
And
sticking
interestingly,
down, you know.
that is a constituency that has been supporting the government. I mean, after probably Grand Bay, this constituency is one of the strongest constituencies that support this government.
Yeah.
So wow.
Because I mean, when you look at Benz, and see me Doc again, and I have been down there. I saw they after many promise since in the time of Mr. Walter, so much promise, you know, about building a jetty.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Building a jetty. They finally, I see they take two heavy equipment and they just place it there. You understand?
So
I
they have not started.
Well, the last time I was there, which is like when I came back 2 weeks ago, they haven't started there. I took a photo of it.
So they have equipment there?
Yeah, they just put
material and so.
Well,
Do you know how much they say it's going to cost to build it?
I don't know as yet.
Because they just built one in Bioche where you have about 10 fishermen, and I'm told it cost $21 million.
You know, government good influence, man. 21 million dollars.
I said if they were in Bioche, that's just a jetty, cost that amount of money just for the few farmers the few fishermen that are there. The one in Ansimi is supposed to service. I mean, it's supposed to be like the second largest port on the island.
That's correct.
You know, in terms of the traffic that comes through from the French Islands.
Yes.
Yeah. So probably will be over $200 million.
Well, I hope that's not the case. But
and I mean, while we're on that, we see Tukari.
Yes.
Have a jetty. Well built, well nice. You understand?
Yeah.
But in Anzime, the official port, an official port.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man.
I remember when we went there and we posted photos. I could not believe, we posted video of this dilapidated port, not even a well-maintained tire to prevent the boats from smashing into the side of the jetty, and people have to step on that. Yep. And I've seen the traffic, especially around Creole Festival time.
Exactly.
Literally several tens of hundreds of people coming through there.
When it's have the thing in Grand Bay,
the breakfast.
I mean, to see the traffic down there.
Yeah.
You understand? People coming in.
It's a legal port.
Yeah, it's illegal. And that is the way you have us down there, man, suffering. And this is your constituency. This is a constituency they actually counting.
Mm-hmm.
Actually counting,
As the genre de patas.
I mean, come on, and that is how you treating your people, man.
Yeah, but Dave, I know I wanted to ask that before Soso comes in, because that is very important to me. What are the young people in the constituency of Calabishi, Pebush, Benz, Asola?
Yeah.
What are they telling you?
Boy, dog. All they're asking right now is about change. Seriously. And what they're looking at now is how they can get jobs. They need jobs. That is what they have been talking about. And this is something that we have to look at within the constituency, because I started working with mapping. I left Calabishi to come and work in town with mapping. And those things can be expensive for young people, because you have to rent a house, you have to pay your bills, buy your groceries, maintain yourself.
Yeah, and it's difficult to go back and forth every day, because given the distance and the roads, the road network,
the money that you'll have to pay again. So if you can create jobs within those communities, you understand, people wouldn't have to go through those kind of things, and that is what I want to do. You understand? This is the kind of things that I'm talking about to the young people, that if they give me the chance, that I will ensure that I create this kind of thing. Because I will find the skills.
Yeah.
I'll find the skills within Calibishi and the constituency, and to make people work.
Because I know when Ross, I'm taking yours back again, when Ross used to operate at Portsmouth as a medical school and a medical facility, I know a number of persons from Calibishi, Benz, Alsonda, and even Peebush used to be employed.
That's correct.
At Ross. And so it was even closer for them to take transportation to go back and forth, and it could be affordable to them because they were making money.
That's correct.
Now that it's out of this geographical space and also out of Dominica,
Right.
I can't imagine the kind of hardship now.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
Imposed on the people.
Well, and even read that airport.
Yes.
You know, people maybe is expecting to get jobs there,
Right.
but it's not happening for them. You
It's
know,
not happening.
It's not happening. The way
Yes.
it's supposed to.
Okay, good. Just hold up, hold up. Yes, caller. Good evening to you. Caller. It look like if you do it especially, it look like you're in some good vibes and you just want to mess us up. But I hope it's not a special, because I mean people have been calling and we're getting through. So I hope, because I don't think we have a technical issue here. But try again. But I suspect the caller we're getting through. We're in the caller, but caller is not speaking, not holding up the line. But yes, so gentlemen, yeah, we're already out of time. And Doc, and let me just say, Dave, that I know we'll be back another time, so we'll get the full time again to get it done. But while we're here, we know that we have to continue to educate. The United Workers' Party is preparing, and just to let listeners know that we are on our second round of meetings, and then next week, Thursday, we'll be live in Roseau Central at the PSC Center from 7 to 9 o'clock. And by the way, part of the proceedings will be aired right on this program. So we want you to tune in, and we want people to participate and come out in large numbers. We'll be doing the promotional flyer, and obviously we will be called to participate. We need you to participate in these meetings, because we'll be talking about, reconfirmation. We're talking about some of the current issues that are affecting you, even with this thing about the CARICOM and the free movement of people, very important. We're talking about reconfirmation and the importance of, preserving our democracy. And so it's very important. So next week, Thursday, the 9th of October, we will be at the PSU Center, where we'll be discussing our plans and programs with respect to the 10 pillars and the shared prosperity for political leaders and other members of the United Workers' Party. So as we wind down in this program, Dave,
Should we take this final call? Let's try.
Let us take this final call. I say, okay, let's call. Caller, good evening to you.
Good evening, so.
Oh yes, good evening to you, sir. Finally.
I'm your guest.
Yes.
Good night.
Okay, so I'm just listening to James, the guy from Calibishi, speaking.
Yes.
And he said he saw some packaging in the States, ginger and tea bags and other products locally, and it's going so good.
Yes.
And I heard one of my former supervisors in the banana industry from Calibishi speak a while ago. And he was giving all your idea. I mean, why it's all you get in government? But by the meantime, the little resources all you have, or you could put it together. As you say, you need a computer, because everything now is technology, farming, and a few equipments that can mobilize a few youths, start something in the community. Like you said, look at Anzime there. Anzime is a port of entry. You have a lot of people coming in and going out. What about what the guy is doing with the cassava bread from Calibishi? There's many other things we self can do for the French people. Our garlic syrup, our local spice and herbs,
yes.
and organize a shop there.
Vendor. Yeah.
Look at Marigot. We have a playing field just at the back of Fine Grass. I believe the opposition should pull the strengths together, a group of them, clean up the playing field with whatever they can do if it's changed, so and organize it. And like you were saying, with sports, When I used to be up there, I used my little resources. I so used to pass there so at Debo Cicero Waterfall.
Of course.
Nobody didn't help me, you know. I put excavator to get a truck from Roseau, a dumper, develop it even before Galakan come in. And I do work with a foreigner in the Hatton Garden area in cruise tourism, because America never had cruise tourism. We bring cruise tourism up there. And we work hard. And I will not be going into detail of the man, but it's not so much resources he had for that. But because he was white, everything was going smooth for him.
Yes.
Nobody never recognized the site I was building up there. I go all out to get them to put it on the tourist map. One of the things that was my biggest hindrance is to get it on the tourist map, that when the overnight visitors passing, when they open the map, they would see Cicero Waterfall. I had a very hard time with Discover Dominic, and I was getting frustrated.
Right.
And the land wasn't my land. And one of the obstacles again, you have two forces fighting you. You have the system, the government system fighting, and then you have your citizens fighting you, and you have a lot of fighting amongst, it's like Rwanda. Rwanda is one of the African states where the people were just fighting and killing one another. Family was just upset. So I am asking only what do little things only could do, because I'm speaking about the small community. We can start small. I've been saying that to the government, and even when I say to the government, without disrespecting them or harming them, the supporters attack me very rough sometimes, you know, in a terrible way. So I'm asking, you have to start from somewhere. If you look at Ruzi and all of those other people's style of campaigning and things, yes, we can stay and critique the government and bash them, but then what we can do, look at even Roseau. Look at Goodwill. You see, the only person that set up a track around a playing field was the UWP, I think the Pirate. And every village in Dominica, every playing field is supposed to have a round track. It wouldn't be big, but a track that can get you to understand how to run in a circle, like when you go on the international track. I think they started that former community and they put a track. And then the government come and finish it. The UWP would clean Roseau every Sunday morning. I don't know if you understand my drift. Because what the elderly is saying from Calibisi there is true. It's the youth. We can jump and critique the government, but when we get in there, it's not going to be easy, you know, because when the UWP get there for the first set of terms, it wasn't easy. Just like the Labour Party, to look at the silence of politics. When they get in office in the first term, it wasn't easy. Because the country itself, as you were saying, we're not producing and we have to find a way to produce. So now when I say that you know my neck does go on the line. Even if you look at
why would
you have right to speak, man. You have right to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, but so even you look at the former Pirate. You remember the former Pirate from PT7 speak for port at where you call that this is the village between Grandy and
Stu.
Jobic, snow somewhere there. You have some port,
yes.
A jetty, so that when a disaster they can move out and go in. And you know he get back. So you need to look at the former Pirate from Calibisi. Because sometimes I just try to wonder why black people don't really settle down and everything. If you look at the program last night on Kyrie FM, one of the hosts telling their supporters you have to cool down because they'll get high blood pressure. And
yes,
so
yes.
I don't know if you see the amount of death.
Yes.
Young, old, people rebelling, young people rebelling. People going in this, mothers going in the schoolyard and fight. It have a spiritual problem, and we have to understand that how to work with it. But I appreciate what the gentleman from Calibisi said. We're going to fall. How long do you think we're going to live again now? How long? I mean, look at the boat operating between Guadeloupe and Martinique. We're supposed to have a boat, a ferry boat. It have a man in Calibisi in Portsmouth.
Can you wind up?
But think about it, and so you know, man does have to do what they have to do. Good night.
Thank you, and we do appreciate that. And let me just tell you, caller, that collectively you've heard and we've made the announcement that Dr. Thompson Fontaine is involved in buying agricultural produce where applicable to help farmers remove some of the excess they have produced and shipping it out. That is a program he's undertaken, and obviously we can see the United Workers' Party, and that is happening. And so this is some of the things that we are doing. So all we want is people to commit themselves to produce top quality and to be consistent with their quality. And I do agree that we can do more for our respective constituencies, but as you well aware, that even when we try to undertake certain programs, the government running and push us out. Sometimes we want to have a meeting, we have to go and rent a place, man. We cannot even use a school, man. You're making a request, a PS, you have to go for a PS, have to sign, this one have to sign. And we get to lose a meeting by the opposition. Sometimes they taking time, they pussyfooting, they're not even responding. We are Dominicans. What is this about? If we request to use a school, we should not be getting any problems. But we'll deal with that another time. We're already done on the clock. So, Mr. Davis, your closing remark.
Yes, I mean, time running out here so quickly, so I have so much to say still, you know.
I know, you'll be back.
But
so getting enough feedback.
So much to talk about still, you know. But thanks all for that, you know, letting me know that you'll invite me again.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to say good night again to my constituents, you know, and I am putting out myself out there this time around, and I am asking, you know, for you all to give the support, give me the support, give the United Workers' Party the support, and we are the ones that will be changing things around. We are ready and we are capable of making things happen within the constituencies, right? Not just a constituency, but all the constituencies will benefit. 2 part 2. You remember that saying also?
Yeah.
2 part 2.
Workers are not going to do that, yeah?
Yeah, so I just want to say good night again to everybody. And I'm hoping that when we get into office that things will be better, because I'm seeing brighter days ahead with our leader who have the energy. Where is he getting the energy from?
Well, I said the man was in South Sudan some time ago, and we are here when it's night.
Yes.
So when sometimes when he participates in our program,
everything.
I said he's not sleeping.
But I don't understand.
And I suspect if he has to have that same behavior when in office, the economy will fix very soon.
So very quickly.
Dr. Thompson, in your closing remarks.
Well, again, just to add my voice and to say a big thank you to Davis, and of course, as we're talking about Pebush, Asolda, Benz, and Calibishi, say good night to the good folk there. We've had a lot of opportunity to interact with them on the ground. I must say, every time we feel welcome, David. You know, it's amazing. You will not even know it's a labor stronghold based on the reaction.
Providence down there.
The reaction of the people and so on. That's one of the things I'm really thankful for, and I just want to mention that publicly, the respect that is been shown to Dave and to myself every time we're there, and so on. It's really very encouraging. I just want to say, you know, good night and a big up to the people in that area. And of course, to all of Dominica, a very special good night. We had a wonderful time, in fact, yesterday with the Constituency Association there. We visited every single home there in Kasagori, in La Plaine. And again, very, very no hostility, you know, warm welcome from even known laborites in that area. And I want to say a big thank you to all of them that opened their homes to us and allow us to come in and interact with them. It was a wonderful day yesterday in Kasagori. And that's the kind of work we continue to do, you know, across Dominica. We'll be visiting the homes and you know, it's great to sit and discuss you know, the 10 pillars and to discuss the country situation with people and so on. And I just want to say a big thank you for the respect that has been shown and just the cordial way in which people are welcoming us into their homes. I think that is fantastic and it bodes well. It bodes well going forward. So just wanted to mention that as we say good night to everyone.
Yes, thank you everyone. And by tomorrow we will be outside of the Prevost City Mall again as usual with our raffle tickets on sale. We expect the people, the patrons to come out and support us. Largely, we need the resources. We need to get things going, and you can see that we are trying our best. So God only help those who do their best. So we have been doing that, and we thank you for your kind patronage. I mean, you do well for us, and we appreciate that. But let's continue to support us. Raffle tickets will be on sale. And by the way, we don't have to be always outside the Prevost City Mall. You know, you can contact your caretakers and, you know, come to the office and, you know, buy a book, patronize, just do it. So let me thank you all, gentlemen, for being part of us tonight. And let me thank everyone who participated tonight. Until next time, we say good night to all. May God bless. And do have yourself a splendid night. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's gonna be a bright, sunshine day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.